Before we get started, I want you to know that tomorrow on Tuesday, August 25th, I believe, around 12:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, I will be streaming here on YouTube live. So if you have any questions about anything that I've been talking about lately or even today's video, feel free to come by and I'll give you some of my answers if I have any, and also give you some advice if you do so need it. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Francis. I am your petroleum engineering mentor. For today's episode, for today's video, I want to share you the concept of well performance, and to sort of make an analogy to a real world scenario, I would associate it with city traffic jams. What I mean by that is city traffic is completely inefficient. And when I associate that with well performance, it's because there should be a optimal speed where the cars are entering said lane and an optimal speed for the vehicles to be leaving said traffic area. Back to the topic before we talk about traffic. There are optimal rates and optimal pressure drops when it comes to well performance. And we call this the inflow performance relationship. And that comes from the reservoir to our pipe, and then we have something called tubing performance relationship, where it is from the bottom of our well to our wellhead. Why don't you just come with me to the computer real quick and I'll sketch it out for you. Let's start with this line here, this obviously straight line over here, going to be our surface. This is our wellbore, that's obviously straight, and this over here is our reservoir, and this is going to be a vertical well. We're not going to talk about horizontals in this video specifically, but the concept is still the same. There should be a pressure drop from here, and we'll call this P reservoir, to your wellbore, and that is going to be your PWF. We call this the well flowing pressure. So you can say for movement, like plumbing, your pressure drop will have to be from your reservoir to your wellbore. Then up here, you have your wellhead, which we will call PWF. And to get flow from your wellbore to your wellhead, from here to, from the top of your wellhead to the bottom of your tubing, that is TPR, your tubing performance relationship. So with that out of the way, let me scroll down a bit and show you how the rest will pan out. So when you graph performance in petroleum, you're gonna make this graph right over here, and you're going to, the two parameters that we really discussed here in performance is change in pressure, your pressure drop that we talked about up here, and flow rate. Assuming primary recovery, so the only pressure that is supporting your reservoir is the natural pressure, your reservoir will look something like this. Over time, our pressure drop will begin to equalize, and our flow rate will eventually decrease. So over the course of the primary recovery, your pressure in your reservoir will decrease, so you actually have something like this over time. So this would be T1, this would be T2, and this could be for any period of time in your reservoir. Our tubing performance relationship will look something like this. This would be your IPR. This, to be clear, is your TPR. And this point right over here, this point is the most optimal point that you want to operate at. This is the part where I was talking about directing traffic and getting rid of it. At this point is the pressure drop that we want to operate at and the flow rate that we want to operate at. However, you will notice that as your natural pressure in primary recovery will change, so will your tubing performance relationship in your reservoir. And eventually, let me scroll down a little bit more here so I have more space, eventually will look like this. And there will be no more optimal point. How are we going to find that pressure drop that matches the reservoir pressure in your inflow with your tubing performance that you have created? And the answer to that is simple: artificial lift. Because artificial lift is the technology used to help the reservoir maintain this pressure that we have up here. So that's pretty much it for this video. I hope that made sense. If it did, please leave me a like in the video down below and consider subscribing. I post videos every single week. And just remember that tomorrow, if you had a question about this, I'm going to be going live on YouTube tomorrow on Tuesday at around 12:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And be sure to stay tuned in for that. We'll answer any questions and give any advice for about an hour or two. And as always, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video. So, bye guys. Straight line, I know it's not straight, sorry, but you get my point. This straight line, this shale baseline test